Choosing the right online broker is critically important. It's got to work best for you, and also you don't want to get involved with someone with fraud or that's going to rip you off. So we're going to learn all the different steps to take so you can choose an online broker so you can trade and invest that is best for you. Coming up. Welcome to the channel where we help you to learn fast so you can become a confident and successful investor. If that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's talk about online brokers where we can buy and sell securities like stocks or cryptocurrency, whatever. This can apply no matter what you're looking to invest in. So first off, we're going to walk through step by step the key things you want to look at so you can make good informed decisions and really evaluate any online broker that you're interested in. So let's get started. And the first thing you want to do is, very simply, is see if the online broker is available in your country. That's very important from a regulation and currency aspect in terms of you want to make sure that you can actually invest in them and that they're regulated by the country you're living in. So you want to use somebody that's in your country. And then also from a convenience standpoint, you want to be using the currency that is your home currency. You don't want to try to do some overseas broker, if you could even do it, that might be not even regulated and kind of scary that way. And then you're having to convert your currency before you can even invest in it. And then you might incur fees along the way. So first step is just make sure they're available in your country. And an easy way to do that is just a simple, internet search. Just put in, online brokers in, and then put in your country: USA, UK, India, whatever is your country name. Online brokers in, or if you want to be some more specific, you'd say, online stockbrokers in, or online cryptocurrency exchanges or brokers in. Either one will work, and then put in the country. So you have that a little bit more. You're starting off getting a little more security as far as they're going to be regulated and also use your currency. So that's number one. Now, number two is, after you find that a simple search, is the most important thing. What's going to drive through all this process is trust. Trust is everything. Trust is important whether you're working with a face-to-face, maybe financial planner, but you also trust is extremely important when you're working with an online broker as well. If you don't trust them, if you think they're maybe a little shady or something like that, or you're not sure you're being treated well, run away. Just run away. There's a lot of different options out there. Go find another broker that you can trust with your money online. So trust is critically important throughout the whole process, through everything. So as you go through things, that's the one thing you always want to keep in mind is think about trust. Do you really, trust them? And one way that helps with trust is when you're doing this search for brokers is sometimes looking at, especially if you're starting out, looking at the big brokers, in your country. For example, USA, for example, you'd have folks like Charles Schwab, or Robinhood has now grown in size and all that. Some of the big folks. Internationally, you got Interactive Brokers, eToro. There's some different ones out there as well too. So I'm not endorsing any online broker. I'm just saying when you look at your list, so you can see by how many assets under management, how many customers they have, how long they've been around. That helps to start build that trust when you're starting to evaluate them and make sure that they're following around government regulations and stuff too. In fact, a lot of them will actually list on their website, especially towards the bottom, where it might talk about how they're regulated by the government, and how they meet government regulations. So if you start seeing that where they're talking about that, that can be a good sign. All right, next thing you want to look at is, what type of investor are you? What type of investor are you? Are you more of a buy and hold investor or a very active trader? Because different websites and different online brokers cater to different types of investors. A lot of mutual funds and offer brokerage services too, where you could buy, let's say, individual stocks, but also buy their mutual funds or maybe other exchange trade funds or other mutual funds. And those tend to be a little bit more oriented towards buy and hold investors, who would just buy something and hold it for a longer period of time. Others are more oriented towards more active traders, maybe like a day trader or somebody where they're actively trading very frequently, maybe every day or often, right? And so they have a lot more tools that support, let's say, day trading, as an example, if you're more of an active trader, like the things where people have like 3 screens up at the same time, that kind of stuff. So if you go to a website, by the way, and they show images of their customers or how to use their platform, and they're showing something in front of like 3 or 4 screens, that's really oriented towards probably more active traders versus somebody who's talking a little bit more about education and more about support and that kind of stuff, and more buy and hold. So think about type of investor you are, and when you're looking at these type of sites, whether you're more buy and hold or whether you want to be more active trader. And if you're in the middle, that's okay too. You can kind of evaluate it that way as well. The next most important thing is start looking at screenshots and images or maybe videos people put up around their user interface, right? What does their user interface look like? Like this is an example from Thinkorswim, which is part TD Ameritrade. So you can see how they have different user interfaces that are responsive or enabled for different types of devices. You got a smartwatch, a smartphone, a pad or e-reader, and then you have like a laptop. So but the idea is that you're getting a feel for what their user interface looks like. And if you look at this one, you can see they're oriented more towards something that's a little bit more complex, right? So this site, Thinkorswim, is a little bit more oriented towards active traders, or maybe a part-time trader. It would work fine too. Actually, it works fine for buy and hold as well. But they really provide a lot of resources for that active trader. So if you look at, let's say, the user interface, and you're like, I don't even know what's going on here. It seems a lot of complexity. Then that's probably not the right online broker for you. You might want something that's maybe more simple, more mobile enabled, and a little bit easier to use. And that's perfectly fine. You are the user. You get to choose. Other people might look at a complex interface and say, yeah, that's what I want. Look at all these buttons I can push. Look at all these ways I can do some technical analysis or charting. Oh, look, I can do a moving average analysis with a relative strength index right on the same screen. Isn't that great? By the way, if that made any sense to you, good for you, then you want something that's more active traders. Or if you think that's interesting, check out my technical analysis course. I have a 12-hour course just on technical analysis. So the key is that the user interface is meeting what your needs are. Next is, actually a real important thing, is account types. What account types are available? And what we mean by that, a lot of people, when you think about like an online brokerage account, they're like, oh, I got my online broker account and I buy stocks through it, let's say, for example. And I'm using money that's after tax money, right? Money that the taxes have already been taken out, and I'm just using that and I'll pay taxes on my gain. Very, very common way to do it. But there are other account types out there. You might have some that are like retirement-oriented accounts. In the United States, that'd be an IRA type of account or a Roth IRA, individual retirement account. So that's a different type of account and it's treated differently. So if you have money that you're able to put in that type of account, you want to make sure that account's offered by your online broker if you want to use that. There are other types of accounts out there too. There are accounts that are oriented and have tax advantages, possibly around saving for college or saving for your children's college. In the US, they would call that a 529 plan. So there's different types of accounts out there, and you just want to look at the account types that are available. They'll list them and see if it's fits what you're looking to do as far as the account types. Next, and this is real important too as well, is fees. Oh my goodness. What types of fees out there? Are there fees just to open an account? To transfer money in? Is there fees to transfer money in? Those are account fees. Are there fees for trading? In the past, typically, there's always a fee for trading where you pay a little money for each stock you'd buy, and you'd pay every time you sold too. Now there are a lot of online brokers that offer free trading. How they make money, by the way, is on what's called the spread. You see a price quoted, but you would, let's say if you wanted to buy it, you would actually, buy it for a little bit more than that, and the broker makes money on the spread, the difference, between that as far as the process. It's a little amount, but it adds up over time. So you want to look at it as their trading fees is the main thing to take a look at, and they'll explain their trading fees. If there are no trading fee company, like a Robinhood, for example, and a lot of other companies are going that way. So you can look at that. A lot of companies are going that way, or whether they also have fees for trading too. So do I have fees for opening an account? Do I have fees for maintaining that account? What's called a maintenance account fee. Do I have fees for each time I make a trade? So if I'm an active trader making lots of trades, if I'm getting charged a fee each time, that's something to really consider. And then and if there's any kind of like miscellaneous fees or closing account fees early or transferring in money fees, whatever it might be. Especially like in cryptocurrency, a lot of times you'll see where there's fees around transfers, how you transfer it in, how you wire transfer in your money, your initial investment. Your cash investment, basically, before you start even buying stuff, there could be fees tied with that. So particularly in crypto, look at that around transfer fees. So look at the fee structure. They should have a button on their website that talks about fees or pricing, and really look at that and understand that. Because fees can make all the difference in the world. You want a great user interface, but if you're paying a lot of fees, that's not so cool, right? Next thing you want to do is, if they have a free version, to test drive that, or certainly before you pay for like a pro version. So some companies have, different levels, right? A lot of them are just free, and then they charge you based on your trades, or they charge you, a monthly fee or something like that to use their site, to use them as an online broker. However, there's fee structure set up. But sometimes they might have a free version you can try for like 7 days, or try for 30 days for free, or whatever, something that you might be able to do, or they have different levels. So just take a look at that. If you have the ability to try something out before you pay for it, or certainly if you want, before you pay for, maybe something gives you even more resources, a higher end upgraded version with more tools and resources, try out the lower end version first to see if you like it. Are you liking the user interface? What other things that you might be interacting with that online broker. So if you have that ability, try that. Another thing that's real important, of course, is the analysis tools that are provided by the online brokers. So some brokers are real basic, right? You can just basically, let's say, buy and sell stuff, cryptocurrency or a stock or whatever. You're just, it's easy in terms of, it's like you push a button, you buy, you push another button, you sell. Maybe not a lot of options, and they don't give you a lot of resources. And that might be fine if you're using other sites and using free sites or other sites to really do your research on. But a lot of times, online brokers will have analysis tools, already built into their system, so you can go to one spot. And some are really good with that. And when we talk about analysis, there's two big schools of analysis. There's what's called fundamental analysis, and then technical analysis. So fundamental analysis is basically looking at the fundamentals or the company, overall. A part of that you're going to do on your own part is looking at things like, what's their business model? What's their strategy? Where do they fit with their competitors? What are the products and services they offer? So that's kind of the company strategy part. But the analysis part, when it comes more in, particularly, let's say like in stock investing, where you're looking at things like numbers or ratios, right? You might have heard of like the price to earnings ratio, or PE ratio, or PEG ratio, or debt to equity ratio, or all these different, price to book ratio. There's so many different ratios out there. Dividend payout ratio, a lot of different ratios. My courses will go in all that as far as if you want to learn about fundamentals and fundamental ratios. So do they offer these as tools? Can you screen stocks, let's say, for example, by these different types of ratios? Can you use the ratios in other manners as well too? So that's a fundamental analysis. The other one, and particularly for somebody who's a more frequent trader, like a day trader, is going to look at technical analysis. A lot of time that's known as charting. That's the other, or the second school of thought. Charting is all looking at charts, basically. How are things moving in the chart? It could be cryptocurrency going up or down in value, Bitcoin up and down in value. It could be a stock you're looking at going up and down in value. And what does the chart look like? And you're learning things from reading these charts. Things like, what's its average or price over time? And are the moving average going up or down? And is the moving average crossing over each other, crossing over another line? Or looking at trend lines, like a downward trend line or an upward trend line by connecting the dots. Again, got a whole course in technical analysis. But the idea there is your online broker, do they offer lots of good tools for that? So if you really want to do charting and technical analysis, I really recommend that you get an online broker that really has built-in support stuff on it. There are other free sources out there too. TradingView is a good resource that has a free version with ads. A lot of annoying ads, by the way. But it's a free version, so that's the one to check out as well. So again, what are the tools they have? And do they have fundamental tools and technical analysis tools, or both? So again, that's all part of that user interface that's important as well. A lot of online brokers offer paper trading. And do they offer paper trading, and is that available? So what paper trading is, think of that as practice, right? So a lot of online brokers say, hey, you can set up a paper trading account for free, it doesn't cost you anything, and we'll give you fake, mythical, let's say $100,000 of money that you can use for free and play around with. Now, it's not real money. They're not going to give you $100,000, but you basically set up this kind of almost like a fake account, but it's a paper trading. It's not a real account. It's a paper account is another way to think of that, where you can practice. And by practicing, you're using their site, right? You're getting to interact and use with their site. You're also practicing some of your investment strategies and ideas, whether you're using fundamental or technical analysis, companies that you're looking at. You get to play with that. You get to practice with it before investing and risking your own real money. So I'm a big believer in paper trading, and I like online brokers that offer paper trading. So if I was looking at new different online brokers, I would be kind of high on my list. Particularly if you're starting out with investing, being able to practice and use paper trading is very important. Now, if you think about it, well, why would they offer this free service, for the online broker, the company? Well, the idea is if you paper trade with them for a while and you start to practice with their sites, start to like their sites, a great way to test drive a site, by the way, before you actually start putting money into investing in that site or putting your investments in there and start buying through them. If you're practicing with them and you like it, well, then there's a good chance that you're going to become a client, and then they'll make money on the fees that they charge you and maybe the trades that you execute. So it's good for everybody. So paper trading, see if paper trading is available and give it a try, give it a test run. Another key area is education. I'm a big believer in education. I'm in the education space. I have wonderful courses around how to invest. And a lot of online brokers provide educational tools as well. Not all do, but many do. Do they provide like some glossary of terms? Is that simple? Or do they provide a little bit of training maybe on like how to invest using moving averages, for example, in technical analysis? Or they provide articles or what's going on in the stock market. What types of things are they providing you in terms of education? Now, in terms of education, there's a lot of resources on the internet. There's a lot of resources in YouTube. You've got my channel you can take a look at. You've got my courses you can take a look at. But there's a lot of other resources too. But you can also think about that when you're looking at an online broker. Do they provide some resources as well that might be helpful for you? Particularly if they got resources on how to use their platform better and more effectively, that's always helpful too. So education can be a key criteria for you as well. A couple more left to take a look at. Another one is it's easy to deposit and withdraw funds. Now, for most like online stockbrokers, especially real legitimate ones, it's easy to deposit and withdraw funds. Now, if you're looking at, let's say, cryptocurrency, that can get a little tricky as far as depositing, withdrawing funds. You might have to prove who you are more. They can get a little bit more involved. So look at that and say, well, how easy is it to deposit money and take money out, take my profits, take my money, I'll put it back in my bank account. You might find too that a lot of online brokers, surprisingly enough, it's easy to give them money, it's harder to pull the money back out. Shocking, right? So they make it easy to give them money, but then they make it go through some moves to withdraw it. So, take a look at how the process works for that. And also, is there any fees? Is there a fee for bringing money in, but also is there any fees for taking your profits and your money back out when you want to, when you need that money, or when you just want to move to a different online broker? So watch for fees around depositing, withdrawing funds, and how easy is it to do it. And then lastly here is think about customer service. And many online brokers in particular, you're not really talking to a live person half the time. Maybe there's a little chat thing in the lower part of your computer, you can reach somebody, or they have customer support where you can send them an email or whatever. And many times that's fine too. But some companies really pride themselves on customer service and customer support, and can be very, very helpful that way. So that's important to you. That's another key criteria. Now, they're not going to help you pick stocks. They're not going to help you pick, cryptocurrency. They're not there for that. They're there to help support you with the website. If you're having trouble transferring money in, you're having trouble working with the site, or it's not working on your computer, whatever it might be, or on your smartphone, that's where the customer service comes in as far as using their site. So another criteria as far as taking a look at that, and reviews that might be around from independent reviews. Search the internet for just reviews on websites too, on online brokers, and see what other people are saying. And read the descriptions in the reviews too, where they might say, well, I gave it 4 stars, and then they write stuff and they're like, they didn't have enough technical analysis charts for me. Well, if you're into that, you might be like, okay, I'm going to stay away from that company. But if that's not important, you're more just strictly fundamental analysis, like whatever, that seems no big deal, right? So different ways that you can kind of look at reviews and things. So there, a little bit longer video as far as we walked right through, make it as a checklist here, and think about when you're looking at an online broker, and think about which of these criteria is really important to you. The ability to have a really nice user interface could be very, very important to you. The ability to, let's say, use some really higher end technical analysis tools might be very important to you. You get to decide what's important to you. You get to try out the site. Maybe you can paper trade on the site and try it out. That's what's most important. So hopefully here I helped give you some ideas, some criteria that you can use to start evaluating these sites and go checking out some different sites when you're choosing your online broker. Again, if you like this video, do give it a like. Hey, do subscribe, and I hope to see you, and check out some other videos I have too as well, and check out all sorts of courses and information in the description below. We've got lots of good resources there. So with that, I wish you all the best, and I hope you find a great online broker that works for you.